It's just around the corner. Let's look at some of the basics. So as you can see here, it's the same as anything else, FPL, etc. You choose 15 players. I've got Kane, Lukaku, Belgium, Delpay, Memphis Depay, Netherlands, Chiesa, Italian, De Jong, Rodri, Spain, Grealish, England, Couture, Danish, Denier, Belgique, Bastoni, Italian, Simeon, and on the bench my keeper is Tim Krul. Okay, now let's just have a look at the basics. Let's look at the rules. The difficult thing here is the way they call things match days. It would be better if they just called it game week 1 and then divided it up like that. I think the terminology is a little confusing. Anyway, 2 keepers, 5 defenders, 5 midfielders and 3 forwards. You have a budget of 100 big ones, 100 million to spend. Okay, number of players per team. This is quite good. For the group stage, you can have a maximum of 3. Round 16, 4 players from one country. Quarterfinals, you can have 5 players from one country. Semi-finals, you can have 6 players from one country. And for the final, you can have 8. Say, for instance, it was England and Spain in the final. You could have 8 England players, or you could have 8 Spanish players of your choice, which is quite interesting. In terms of the formation as well, you can have any amount of formation. You can choose any formation for your team as long as you've picked 1 goalkeeper, at least 3 defenders and at least 2 midfielders and at least 1 forward in your starting 11. Selecting a captain. Now this is the interesting part. First of all, obviously match day 1, you want to select your captain. Okay? If your captain doesn't play on a particular match day and you haven't made any subs during that match day, your captain will be automatically subbed out. However, his replacement won't get the captain double points bonus. So, this part's a little confusing. I'm going to go back up to my team, which is on the other page. Okay. Now, here I've got Chiesa, the Italian chap. Now let's go down and have a look at the fixtures. Now, why did I choose him? Not because I think he's good. It's basically to do with who plays first. So look at here. The first game on Friday the 11th of June is Turkey and Italy. So I've picked him because this Italian guy plays first. So let's have a look. It's the same as FPL. Say this guy, he got 3 points. His points are going to be doubled, which would make him get 6 points. Now, in between the days, you will see a substitution window. Within that time, I can stick with him as my captain, or I can put the armband on somebody else. However, I think you lose your points when you change the captain. But the good thing about it is you can change your captain. Let's scroll down. Once all games on the first day of a match day have finished and before the other games have kicked off, you can sub out your captain or switch the captaincy to another player who hasn't played yet with the match day. If your original captain hasn't scored as many points as you'd like, this gives you the chance to double the score of a different player you think will do better in that match day. So go back up to have a look at my captain for an example. Let's say, for instance, this geezer, F. Chelsea, doesn't do very well. Okay? So I'm not happy with his 6 points. It's rubbish. What I'll do is, oh, look, I think Belgium's coming up next, and there's a substitution window. So what I could do is I could go up here to, say, a Belgian player, and I've got Lukaku, who is a Belgique striker. I could put the armband on Lukaku in the hope of I get a better pointage score from Lukaku than Chiesa. But obviously when you change the armband to Chiesa, I think his points just remains normal. So he would just get 3 points. Okay? I think that's how it works, like that. So at the end of the day, with your captains or your players in general, you always want to put the players who play first in the game week on the pitch, on the field. Okay, let's look at, I'm a bit lost here. Let's look at, go back to the rules. Let's look at selecting a captain. We kind of looked at manual substitutions. Between match days, you can make as many subs within your squad as you like. So, as I showed you earlier on with the substitution windows, let's just have a look. So between here, I could make 4 subs if I wanted to. Here, I could make 4 subs if I wanted to. Here, 4 subs. And here, 4 subs. And then match day 2 would kind of be like game week 2. I mean, the terminology is really bad. It's why it makes it so confusing. So going back, sub out a maximum of 4 players unless they've been sent off, and replace them with any of your substitutes whose teams are yet to play with the match day. Any players that you sub out will score 0 points for that match day. So take note. Change your captain to another player from your squad whose team are yet to play. That is what I was talking about with Bielsa. His original captain's double points bonus will be lost, and your new captain's score for that match day will be doubled. So remember what I say, just to reiterate. Remember, if this guy was to get me 6 points and I didn't like him and I put it onto Lukaku for the next one, his points will revert to 3, and then he would get whatever points he would get. Say he got 6, he would get 12 points. If I wasn't happy with him, I could even look at the fixtures again, and then during the gap substitution place, which you can see down here for Lukaku Belgique, there's another substitution window. I could put the armband on Harry Kane, and Harry Kane might get me 24 points, and I might go, okay, I'm going to stick with that. That's great. That's about all really for that type of stuff. Where's the other window gone? So let's go through and see any more. The automatic substitutions are kind of like the same. So you just put the substitutions in order on your bench, priority. So basically it's the same as FPL. So if a player is injured, I think they will automatically be subbed out, just like FPL. The last thing I'm just going to quickly touch on, obviously making transfers. Actually, this is a good point. Transferring players in and out of your squad helps you get more points throughout the tournament. Okay, during the group stage, you can 2 per match day. Okay, so the group stage, every single match day, which would be, let's go down to here. So basically, that's a whole match day. So that's match day 1. So basically, all of these matches here are classed as match day 1. So basically, at the end of match day 1, which really it should be game week 1, you could make 2 substitutions before leading into the match day 2, which really should be game week 2. I don't know why they've done that. Bloody Europeans. Okay, and last but not least, let's get on to the good stuff, the chips, which are basic. Chips allow you to make unlimited changes to your squad. You know how they roll. It's exactly the same as the FPL. I'm not going to talk about wildcards yet. Limitless is a free hit. So think of it as a free hit. Now here's my strategy. This is my current week 1 team, or match week day 1 team, whatever. In match day 2, I am going to use my free hit. So remember, I will choose a new team probably for match day 2, and then come match day 3, my team will just go back to my original team, which is this. Exactly the same as the free hit. Match day 3, I'm going to play my wild card, which will allow me to choose a whole brand new team. So therefore, I'll be able to look at the fixtures. I'll also be able to see the players that are coming, the fixtures that are coming up, and I can adjust my team to plan for the future fixtures and stand the best chance of getting more points. That's about it, really. Just to recap, just treat every single day or every single game basically as a full week of FPL. So if you think of it like that, it's much easier. So if you got to Turkey and Italy, after that game you have a substitution window. So kind of like that would be like a Saturday game in FPL. You know, it would be one complete week. And then for instance, Wales, Denmark, Germany, after that is a substitute window. That would be one complete week in FPL. But they've put them into days, and they've also called it a one, what do they call it? Let's have a look. What did they say? A match day. It's a little bit confusing. But that's the basics anyhow. See you later, alligators.